listeners to the Highly Doubted Podcast. I am your host, KQ Dog, and this is episode 99. Yeah! I have done it! Not yet, but I've done it! Guys, girls, gentlemen, ladies, babies, family, foes, people high, people low, thank you for joining me on the road to 100. Willie's not here today. Tonight, whenever you're listening, it is I and only me. But this episode is special because this is a special episode before the special episode, right? Because it's just me this time. Whitley is she's under the weather. She's sick, runny nose and headaches, and she's not pod ready. So, she had to sit this one out. But I am definitely here to provide the entertainment, the ins and outs of what's going. Well, to be honest, guys, this episode, when it's just me, I usually don't talk about other things. I be talking about me because that's really what it is. But I think this episode is going to be more so about the road that I have created for myself. And I'm so excited to just finish what I started. And I think this episode is really going to talk about just the road, the long road. Episode 100 is going to be a celebratory episode as well, milestone episode. Have a special listener, special voice, special guest on the podcast, and that will be even better. And with Whitley, it will be the whole dynamic. But this is just a mano-a-mano, one-on-one, how I feel about the journey that I've done without all the extraness or extra questions. It's just me venting to you guys about, what it takes to really build something. What it takes to really build something and be consistent. Let's start. So, yeah, I just, first of all, shout out to me. Shout out to KQ. Shout out to Kes Kim New Kwaku McKinney for being that dude, for being him, for creating the podcast, the High Data podcast, and sticking with it, and, going through the highs and lows, tribulations, guests, special listeners, co-host, one co-host, another co-host, one co-host leave, another co-host come. You know what I'm saying? When another co-host leave, it's just one, then it's three, then it's two, then it's three, then it's two, then it's one. Shout out to the one variable that stayed the same, and that is you, Kes Kim New Kwaku McKinney. Shout out to you, boy. Woo. No one ain't gonna say that to me. I'ma say it to myself for episode 99, man. Like, a lot of people that I'm around who I share my story with, and I share my life with, and what I got going on. For people in California, let's say, the podcast is something I created out here. So now coming to the point of being at 99, telling people at whatever stage I was, what episode I was, and, what's going on now to be at episode 99 is just like, I feel like I'm on top of the moon. Who cares, what happens after 100? My personal satisfaction will be fulfilled that I made 100 episodes, 100 plus episodes. I'm really saying 100 episodes because that's the main timeline. When you add the bonus episodes, the Triple X episodes, is already over 100 episodes. I've already accomplished that goal, but just having episode 100 as the main timeline episode is just where I am so excited to get to. Like, so many times I be scrolling through my podcast page, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast. I just scroll, man. I just be scrolling all the way down to one, the Highly Doubted Podcast, right? And that was in July of 2022, and that was just man, like it was such an interesting thing to start, because I had no idea what was going to come of it and what was going to come out of it, and all the things in between. And I'm just so blessed that I was able to just stay consistent. So, yeah, once again, shout out to me. Shout out to Whitley and shout out to Chelsea, right? Of course, because these two women were the two that believed in the podcast and started to really make it a structured, organized platform because of the time zones, and the schedules that we all had, and for us to just stay consistent and keep it going. And then we all be on one, and then they would be like, we're going to alternate episodes. I'm going to do this day, you're going to do that day. Doing two times a week. Okay, doing a schedule 2 times a week, Wednesday and Saturday. That's some real shit, y'all. Some real shit. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? And for you to really just start that for your own, and then people just follow that, believe in that, come prepared when it's that time. It's like, yo, it's a satisfying thing. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate Whitley. I appreciate Chelsea for just being the first ones, right? Being the main ones to really get on the podcast and give it that real breath of life, that give it a personality when you listen in. Like, that you're going to get multiple personalities, multiple conversations, multiple sides of a topic, and that is where I couldn't ask for any, I couldn't picture it any better. It's perfect. So shout out to Cam, because when Chelsea left us, she had to bow out gracefully. She left a hole, and that hole was filled with Cam. So shout out to Cam for definitely taking up that position of a co-host through the latter half of the halfway mark, if you will, of the podcast, right? That's where he really got into it. It was like the 50 mark of the podcast. So shout out to Cam. Shout out to Valencia. Making appearances on the podcast as well, being a little here, being a little there, you know what I'm saying? Coming in with the special guest bonus episode, after she had a little hiatus, so it was dope to definitely have her on the podcast as well and be consistent. Shout out to all the guests, you know what I'm saying? Profeta. Shout out to Aries. Was the first guest of the High Dotted podcast, episode 2, y'all. Okay, episode 2. And he again made another appearance with him and my other homeboy Fable. And they have a podcast, Past the Aux podcast, that was on the Aux app, AMP app, and now it's a podcast, and they're doing what they're doing, and shout out to them. And I know they're about to hit their 100 mark as well. So shout out to them boys for transitioning to another medium and continuing the momentum and continuing the drive that the Past the Aux brand is. So, definitely going to be talking to them about some pointers and how to grow the High Dotted podcast, especially with just being, me. They obviously have Whitley as well, but Whitley is across the country. Fable and Aries are both from North Carolina. If me and Whitley were both together in the same place, man, we would have been, the podcast would have been jumping leaps and bounds. But we can only do so much to not rock the boat and make things inconsistent by just making sure we had the audio right, right, and topic. So we worked with what we got, and I'm proud and I'm glad at how we did it. So yeah, shout out to all of you guys, guests included, all special guests included, who, shared your story, shared your experiences, and entertained us with your voice on the podcast. And we will have those people again and more people again once we get past 100, right? So, having said that, I'm gonna be brief with this one. I don't want to say too much that bleeds into 100 because that's where 100 had its own little flair. I don't want to repeat myself on things that I'm saying here on episode 100. So, I guess I will say this briefly now, give you a little detail. So at 100, I'm just going to say it and I'm going to keep it pushing and we just going to move on. But after episode 100 is done, the podcast, the Hideout podcast will be taking a break. We'll be taking a hiatus. We'll be taking a vacation, if you will, okay? Your boy is tired, okay? I don't know if y'all understand the ins and outs of a podcast, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I, as the creator and host of the podcast, have not even done what real podcast, quote unquote, real podcast is done with visuals and, you know, everything like that. Like I think that there are pieces that still need to be made to the podcast for it to be called, I'm saying a lot of words. We have been audio for 100 episodes. See, look at me. When we return, we will be visual, and it will be the way that I see it moving forward and beyond, right? But yeah, we're taking a break because just doing what we've been doing, me and Whitley, just for this as long as we have, and we've missed days, we've missed weeks, we've been gone for a couple times. You know, life has lifed us to where we haven't been consistently consistent. Because if we were consistent on the days that we were consistent and the weeks that we were consistent, we would have hit 100 before this day. We would have hit 100 a long time ago. But life does what it does to where staying on the ball, not letting it get too off kilter, we've managed to hit 100 right at the end of the year. And it's perfect, poetic, because, after 100, after the new year, we gone for a minute. We might talk, Whitley is going to obviously have her take about it and talk about it, so it's not like it won't be discussed on episode 100. But for me, I'm definitely not going to be ghost, you know. Don't think that we're just not going to have anything. My intention, my expectation for 99 for the podcast moving forward after 100 is just pushing out the content that we've already had. You know, really pushing out clips, bips, all that stuff. You know, really all the 100 plus episodes we have, I've only been minor and minuscule in the workings of Instagram and marketing of the podcast. I haven't been able to really market it fully the way that I've wanted to. I've been more focused on the content and being consistent of the episodes. I feel like once 100 is done, then the energy can solely be on the marketing. I'm only one person, y'all. I don't have as much. Whitley is dope. Whitley is amazing voice. She's a co-host. She has her own life. She has things going on. This podcast is my baby. This podcast is my project. The way it lives and dies and grows and falls is on me. So I can only do so much, and I don't like to spread myself too thin when it comes to things, especially when it comes to things that my name is on. So, you know, as far as the podcast goes, I put all of the energy into making the episodes and putting my best foot forward when it comes to content creation, which is the podcast episodes. The pushing, the clipping, the, you know, marketing and putting on all platforms, the shorts, the YouTube. I don't have a budget to pay someone to do that for me. I have to do that myself, and I know that that is a whole job without even trying to pod in between the weeks. So saying a lot to say is we will not be gone. We will be gone in terms of new episodes, but we will not be gone in terms of content because we have a bunch of it, right? And I think it's beautiful because a lot of these episodes that we have, you know, depending on when you listen, what we're talking about, they're dated, whatever, but it is not like I can't snap or bring up a clip from episode 14 up now and it's not going to get relevancy, or people are not going to listen back to those episodes. Like I strongly believe that once I start putting marketing behind the podcast and really get more eyes on the podcast, not necessarily of it new content, but just a podcast itself with episodes. I think that's gonna speed up the process to make people really want to listen to us and want more. This was a project in itself, you know. It was fun. This is fun. It is fun. It's a great thing. I love podcasting. I love things about podcasting. I love, you know, it's a therapeutic thing. I tell people that all the time, especially when, you know, life is happening and you have people, or you just have a personality and you just want to talk about stuff. So many times where life has been happening in the world, and I'm telling you, I've talked about it on the podcast, or I've discussed it on the podcast, and I'll go out in life and people will be like, hey, man, have you heard about this? Or what do you think about this? And I'm like, man, I ain't talking about that. Listen to my podcast. Listen to my podcast, because I ain't talking about that, bro. Like, what you mean? I already talked about that. I ain't talking about that shit, bro. Or there might be times where I do talk about it and I'll be like, I said this on the podcast. I just said this on my podcast. Go check it out. But blah, 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 right? So that's where, you know, the podcast, the creation of the podcast, I'm looking at it as if I was making an album. And I think taking the time to really get the product, which is the podcast content, to be the best it could be, and it's able to be pushed out because I'm confident in what I've made, what I've created, then that's where the people are going to start paying attention, you know? So long story short to say, yeah, man, I love this podcast. Podcast is fun. There was something else I wanted to say. It was really on the tip of my tongue before I transitioned to this next topic. Damn, what was I about to say? Oh, yes, I brought it up on the last topic, but it's interesting. This podcast has felt like an album. Like, this podcast has felt like the process that it goes to making an album. And I don't know if anyone who's listening has ever created, or an artist, or made an album, or made a project, or the miscellaneous things that go with the makings of a project. This is exactly what it was, right? Except you're doing it with a whole nother person, right? Making a collaboratory project. And that's where, if you're an artist, you know what I'm talking about. If you're a business person, you know what I'm talking about. But it takes a lot of hard work. But I say that to say, you know, I've been talking about, I haven't been doing music for 2 years, and I've been dropping the ball, and I haven't been on my shit. And it's like, no, nigga, you've been potting. You've been potting. So, you know, once the potting stops, then obviously the energy is going to go towards the actual album, which it is. So I'm excited about that. Very excited about that. Very excited to see what I'm going to do in 2024. And again, I don't want to bleed. I don't want to bleed 100. I don't want to bleed 99 to 100 too much, right? But I do want to just have my own time to express your worth when it comes to things. 2023 went by fast. I'm gonna tell you that. That's number one. 2023 went by fast, and it's so interesting because in a podcast sense, 2023, the top of 2023, I was at episode 30, right? 34, 35, right? And that was literally like 60 plus episodes of just life happening. And we could, I think 100 is going to be more detailed than this, but just going down the line of episodes and things that we're talking about, and not even the things we're talking about, really pre-pod, because that's where the pre-pod shit really shines. Like, I listen to the episodes, but I really just listen to the pre-pods, because the pre-pods really give me a understanding of like what was going on in life around that time for just me and us. When we start talking about people, then I can see like, oh, that was like that time ago, or that was that long ago. But when we get into the pre-pods, that's where I be like, damn, life really is life, man. And for 2023, bro, a lot of shit has happened. 2023 started off with me living with my father, getting kicked out, living with my grandpa having a situation where he was in the hospital, still in a rehab hospital situation, but a lot better, of course, like 95% better than when he was in the beginning, to now having a job at UPS, to I was not with Lake Merritt Goddess. I was doing my own thing from January until September. Once September moved forward, then it was on a manager business assistancy with Lake Merritt Goddess DJ Black Woman. Now today, that is no longer the case, but in terms of how a lot of things have came and went, how a lot of things have shifted in this 1 year, it has been a lot. Been through a lot this year. A lot has happened this year, to where when you're in your mode, everyone's mode is different, but when you're in your mode, a lot of people don't have the luxury to remember every single thing that goes on or whatever situation happened. But thankfully, and really it's the pre-pods like I'm talking about, I have documentation. I have pre-pod documentation of just what was going on in life for me, you know, and the highs and the lows, bro. Like, growth is inevitable if you look for it, right? And I mean that to say there wasn't anything in particular I was trying to accomplish with the podcast. I just wanted to make sure it kept going. Just keep it going. Because when I said over the episodes of the podcast, we were getting in unsexy ass numbers that are not sexy, right? 45, not 45, that's sexy, that's a sexy number. 36. You know, 54, you know, like, goddamn, like, what the hell? What episode is this? This is 71. Oh, 71. Oh, Lord. You know? So that's where I just enjoy having those moments to just go back and be like, boop, this was just happening at this time. This was on the podcast. This was what it was. Oh my gosh. Even, like, because I'm just thinking, right? Had my first festival. My first fucking festival. Come on, bro. Had the first festival of my life outside land. Shout out. The studio. Forgot all about the studio, man. Like, so many things happened in this 1 year, bro. It's crazy. I swear, all I gotta do is just go back and just listen to the tape and be like, oh yeah, this happened, this is what I'm doing. Oh. And I'll be like, damn, boy, you doing a lot, ain't you, boy? Still potting. And I just appreciate me. And I appreciate the year that I've seen myself just grow through all the things and all the people. I know I'm speaking in third person. I don't give a damn. This is me, and this is all about me. And I need to start really feeling myself, because apparently I don't be doing that enough. You know what I'm saying? I need to do different things in 2024. One of the things that I have been told that I need to do in 2024 is get selfish. It's time to be selfish, KQ. It's time to be about yourself. Fuck them other people. If they ain't for you, then you don't need to be for them. Right? And I'll be honest with you. A lot of people hear something like that and be like, yeah, I'm going to do that. You know, that ain't nothing. You ain't say nothing but a word. Learning that concept, that thought process, it's hard for me. I'm a selfless guy. I am a selfless guy. So much so that when someone tells me to be selfish, I do not look at it in a positive way, or I instinctually look at it in a negative way. And I have to learn to look at selfishness in a positive, self-caring manner. That is what I was told to look into 2024, right? In 2024, I was told to exercise my no. Start saying no more to these motherfuckers. You know? Start really exercising yourself over other people. It doesn't have to be so much of I am doing something I don't want to do. I'm not saying that. But things that you want to do. It's not so much as I don't want to do that. But it's not so much that I can't do that. But do I want to do that? And if we really look at it without any feelings, without any emotions, we just look at Kesh and what he likes to do and what he wants to do. No, he ain't gonna do that. Okay, well, what you want to do? I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. Oh, well, okay. Yeah. So I'm doing that. Right? And I don't think that has to be, that doesn't have to be said or felt or given or taken with malice or disrespect. You know what I'm saying? That's what a person would tell me. Like, there's nothing wrong with you saying what you just said. But I feel a way when I said that. I feel a way. I felt a way. I feel like I'm being mean. Oh, Lord, this nigga here. Yeah, I do. I do feel like I'm being mean. When someone asks something of me and I'm able to do it and I say I can't do it just because I don't want to do it, I can do it, but I just don't want to do it. I don't know. That's selfish, right? And I don't like that. I'll do it. You know, no problem. I got you. That's the problem. That's your motherfucking problem. You think you can do every motherfucking thing, man. You can't do every motherfucking thing, man. Do what you want to do, man. Stop trying to be everybody's hero, man. Stop trying to save everybody, man. KQ can only take care of KQ, man. So I understand that just because I'm able doesn't mean I should. Okay. That's cool. I'll take that. But that's where my feelings come into play. And I'm more so on the side of, they're not able to get to that goal, or they're not able to reach that knowledge, or they're not able to, you know, they're having a hard time. I hate seeing somebody have a hard time. You know what I'm saying? That really, especially if I care about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like to see people struggle. My people struggle. I don't like to see people that have a good heart to go through trials and tribulations. You know, that just don't make me feel good, you know. So I always have an instinctual need to just help and assist. Don't do that shit no more. Don't do that shit no more. Stop doing that fucking shit. That's not no one telling me that. That's just what 2024 from a spiritual aspect is telling me. It's about you, dog. About you. And only you. Do not add anyone else to your plan if they are not for you. If they have not proven to you that they are for you, then do not add them, or don't add yourself to them, or do not allow them to add themselves to you. Just plain and simple. I don't think that there has to be a specific example of that. That's just on some. That's on a case by case. I'll say that. I have exercised that a lot this year. Just, it's just selfish. Just selfishness, like selfishness is something I'm working on. And it sounds weird to say, but that's something I'm working on in 2024. I'm working on being more selfish. See how that works out. Okay. I do have some things to talk about. Sports topics. Sports. My Raider Nation. I stopped caring about the rest of the league. I don't care about the rest of the league because I care about my Raiders. But I have been seeing what's going on. I definitely am excited to see how the cookie crumbles with the league. The Raiders have a tough road if we have any chance to touch or sniff a Super Bowl this year. But I'm only saying that because of right now, we beat the Chiefs in a wonderful Christmas game to where we still have a chance. So next week could happen and we could be out, and I'm not going to be upset or mad. I've already looked into next season. I definitely like the interim head coach. He's definitely a dope addition, definitely a breath of fresh air. And hopefully next year, given the amount of time that he gets the appropriate time to rebuild his team, he gets to rebuild the team that he wants to see in his way next year. Then we'll see what he do. So I am excited to see what Raider Nation is about next year. Definitely had a lot of hoopla, and that's keeping it light in terms of not even players, just coaches and identity and who we're trying to be for the future. And I just think, and I say this all the time. I say this to my homeboy Kyle all the time, and I'm gonna say this now. All we need, Raider Nation, all we need is an all-black uniform. We need a blackout. How are we called the black hole if we don't have all black uniforms? I'll wait. The Saints have all black uniforms. The Bengals have all black uniforms. The 49ers have all black uniforms. The Jaguars have all black uniforms. Do I need to continue? The Jets. The New York motherfucking Jets got all black. Why don't we have all black, Raider Nation? Why are we continuing to stay in this stale fashion? And I mean that specifically on the attire that we wear. There are so many teams that have been around as long as us, longer than us, and they have had renovations in their uniforms. May not be big, may not be over the top. Some are big, some are over the top, but some aren't. But they will do the due diligence of spicing it up for the organization of the team. Swag. Damn it. We don't have swag. I said it. Raider Nation, we don't have swag. We've been looking like the same team since I was born in 1997. We have not had any renovations. Don't even talk to me about them white color rush jerseys. I don't want to talk about those. Don't tell me about them dumbass white jerseys. First of all, if you're a real Raider fan, them jerseys are cursed. We've made that. We as Raider Nation have established that when we first wore those against the Chiefs and lost, we said those were cursed because every time we wore those jerseys that year, we lost. And so I don't even like those jerseys. I'm not even a big all-white guy. All-white does look clean on other teams, especially when they're winning, but not us. I'm sorry. I'll stand on a hill for that. If I got other Raider Nation fans who feel that way, then let's rock out. But we need all black, dog. We need all black. I'm not even saying black helmets. Just give us black pants. Give us black pants. That's really what we need. Give us some black pants. All black, black letters, black numbers. You can keep the helmet. It'd be great if you have a black helmet, though. God, that'd be so great. But I'm telling you guys, you look good, you play good. And we have not looked like we wanted to play good in a long time. We need some innovation. We need some re-innovation. Please, Raider Nation, if you hear me, Raider organization, if you hear me, I am saying, what is going to make the Raider Nation, what's going to make the team really get us to the next level? Give us some new jerseys. It's not even a wild thing to say, because every other team in the league has done that. Damn it, the Lions even got some swagged out new jerseys. Come on now. I'm not playing with y'all. We look good. I mean, we've looked better throughout this latter half of the season. But nah, man, we need to change. And we need to look like we want to win. We want to look swaggy. There is no Let's go all black, Raider Nation. That's all I'm trying to say. All right. I don't know. I think that's really everything. I feel like I'm robbing you guys when no one's here and it's just me, and it's a half of the episodes that's usually like runtime. Like, obviously, when you know that it's a 30, 45 minute episode, it's like, oh, it's just Cass. He had to just talk. He ain't had Whitley. Whitley got the nerve. I ain't gonna do that. Whitley not here to defend herself. But, nah, man, I really don't have a lot to say for this particular episode. Topics. Let's see. I don't know if I really want to get into topics without Whitley. Some of these topics are Whitley's topics, but she's not here. Does she still want me to do it? Do it for the podcast? Huh? Do it for the podcast? Sure. Let's see. Let's look up something that Whitley gave us for you listeners. Engineer attacked by robot at Tesla factory in Austin. A Tesla worker was attacked by a manufacturing robot at the company's factory in Austin, Texas in 2021. According to an injury report filed by Tesla, a robot originally designed for moving car parts attacked an engineer with its metal claw, resulting in a trail of blood on the factory floor. The robot reportedly pinned the engineer and clawed at his back and arm, leaving him immobilized with a laceration cut or open wound on his left hand. Eventually, the engineer was released after another employee pressed the emergency stop button. He then tumbled down the chute, but did not sustain severe injury. According to reports, the employee didn't need to take time off from work. Witnesses say 2 robots were disabled before the incident so that the engineer and his crew could work on the machines, but a third was inadvertently left on, resulting in the 2021 attack. To the rest log. Oh, okay. Huh. I already know where Whitley was going to go with this. And you're right. You should be scared. You should be prepared. You should definitely be watching your Siri, your Alexa, etc., whoever you call to get your task done. Because, yeah. Listen, I'm not trying to say that your robot is going to turn on you tomorrow, but I'm going to tell you it's going to be a time where you are going to have a situation, unfortunately, to where robots ain't finna be doing what you saying. There's gonna be a situation where there's gonna be, and it's gonna be sad, of course, because it's gonna be at the cost of somebody, of an injury or fatal or something we don't want to talk about or even share or even happen. We don't want it to even exist, but it is going to exist. Why? Because we do these things, we create these things, and things are going to happen to where rogue AI is going to take place. And when it takes place, we need to be ready. You all need to be ready. You need to be prepared to go back Go back to MapQuest. Go back to Blockbuster. Let me stop. But no, what I am saying is there is a community of people who really do not live in the world that we live in today. And what I mean by that is they have their own remote way of living. Because they have in their brains that tomorrow the what am I trying to say? Electricity will go out, the fields will be shut down. All the things that we do, the power, internet, all that stuff is going to be down. We're going to have an electromagnetic impulse that's just going to shut everything down. And they're like, yep, when that happens, y'all going to be fucked. But my family are going to be safe. Why? Because we have built a bunker. We have rations all in the pantry. We have prepared practice for this every single day of the year. We do it before we go to bed. We pray on it. I'm going crazy, but there are people who definitely take this shit seriously. People who have conspiracy theories about robots way before robots were even doing what they're doing now. But that there's the Matrix, people. Like, I don't know why I'm saying all these words. The Matrix, which is I can't talk about because Willie's not here, and it's only going to sound weird if I just speak on it. So I'm gonna leave it alone. But yes, the robots, Tesla, engineer, Matrix, y'all need to be prepared, get ready, because it's gonna get to that point one day, unfortunately. I hope it's not in our lifetime or my lifetime, but grandkids, great grandkids, boy, y'all better be prepared for the bullshit, or y'all better, yeah, pray for you. All right, let's see. Hunger Games in North Carolina. So this is a fun fact I did not know, because I love the Hunger Games, right? I love the Hunger Games. So I realized I was today years old when I figured out that the Hunger Games, the first film, was shot and directed and recorded in North Carolina. It was actually Hunger Games was in Burbank, North Carolina, right? Abandoned little town, North Carolina, and basically, if you watch any of the videos, 46 Fox Charlotte did a article, interview, extra thing on it. And yeah, they said that they were just chilling. The people around the area said that a camera crew came around this area and they said, we want to film our movie here. And they said, what movie is that? They said, The Hunger Games. They said, oh, never heard of it. Or they said, oh, I love the book. And they said, yes, this will be where District 12 will be shot. I just thought it was really interesting because North Carolina is such a, obviously, North Carolina is where I was, where it is home for me, in a sense. Not in a sense, it is home. But at the same time, it's so funny because talking to my grandfather, his father is from Greensboro, North Carolina. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, no wonder I love North Carolina. I love Greensboro. But that's where, I just love something about it past just the places in college and just, there was something else. And I was like, what is that something else? And I, let's just say that energy I felt. Like I felt home. I felt at home at this place, and that was the reason why. The McKinney family is from North Carolina. So we made moves and came to California and we've been here ever since. But, let's just say, even though God works in mysterious ways, my mother going to Charlotte, North Carolina was not a coincidence. It was not a coincidence at all. So, yeah, no, man. I love the Hunger Games. I love that little fun fact. And, that was just something I just wanted to bring up. Nothing major. All right. All right. I'm done. I'm not finna talk more because I don't have anything else that's really, I'm tired. I'm tired, boss. I'm tired, okay? Like, it's been a long road. It's been a long fight. I'm so exhausted mentally just being in this position because it's hard to be the boss when you're doing this shit, you know? But not tomorrow. The next time, the last episode 100, will be a special episode. It will be me, Whitley, and I will wait to announce it on the 100th episode. And, we're just all going to have a good time. It's all going to be really dope. I will be the host, of course, but I will definitely be, I'll be chilling. I'm going to be chilling on this one. I'll be chilling on 100. It'll be entertaining. It's going to be dope. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a great, bang to it, but, man, 100 is something I've been looking forward to I've been looking forward to episode 100 since episode 1. So this is like kind of semi-emotional, not really emotional, but definitely like where I'm just like, God dang, bro, like I did it, bro. And thank y'all for being with me while I did it. I appreciate it. I really do. It really means a lot to me. And for, if nothing else, if this podcast does not go past 100, you could definitely look back and be like, yo, remember when you had that podcast? You did 100 episodes, dog. I could, that took a lot, dog. You did that shit. But I'm not saying that 100 more, 100, 200, 300 more will go, but we need a break. We all need a break. We'll be back better than ever. But yeah, I won't, this is not the end because we have one more. But this is kind of like the end though. Sort of. Just like this will be the last time that I will be doing the podcast, just me and you guys, my voice and just you listeners and just my personality and my energy, because after last one of the year, last podcast on a weekday podcast, the last one will be on the weekend, the last one will be on the week of New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, so that will be dope. And then after that, we peacing out. I'm peacing out. But, like again, we have one more. So, I am your host, K2 Dog, and this is the Highly Dotted Podcast, episode 99. I appreciate y'all listening over my rambling and venting and all that stupid stuff. This is a filler episode, but hey, man, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do and, get the job done. So again, I thank you all for listening. I love y'all, and y'all will hear us for the last time of the year, indefinitely, but the last time you will hear us. Episode 100 is on the way. Love y'all. Peace out.